Welcome everyone to another live training with me, Professor Heather Austin. Today, we are covering how to perfect your resume using AI technology. So this is essentially a ChatGPT tutorial for job seekers. Now, I know a lot of you have recommended this training. We had a lot of requests for this. So we have created brand new content to share with you guys just to help you navigate the world of AI, especially in today's hiring process. So jump into the chat, tell me where you're joining from, let us know, say hello so we can see you. Tori, my amazing assistant, is here. She will be moderating the chat. We have some amazing slides to share with you. You're going to want to take lots and lots of notes. I see a lot of you jumping in here. Sophie jumped in. David, Mark, hello. Remy is here. Excalibur's Garage is here. I love it. Catherine, so happy to see you. Danielle is here. Virginia is here. Guy is here. CK is here. Oh, I could say hello to all of you guys. Keep letting us know in the chat where you're joining us from, and say hello so we can interact with you. If you guys have ever been to a live training of mine, you know that I ask a lot of questions. If this is your first time here, get ready to type into the chat because I have lots of questions coming your way. I want to make sure you haven't fallen asleep and that you're still paying attention. So here's the thing, you guys, I'm going to jump right into slides today because we have so much to cover with you. We are talking about how to perfect your resume using AI technology. Okay. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this is essentially a tutorial to help you use ChatGPT as a job seeker. Now, we do have a lot of giveaways that we're going to be sharing with you guys today. We're going to start with the first one, and then I also have a very special offer for you at the very end. If you guys want a cheat sheet of some prompts to help you get started using AI or ChatGPT, go to heatheraustin.online/prompts. Now, Tori's also going to pop that into the chat. We will make sure we get a pinned comment in the chat box for you if you are watching this on the replay, because I know a lot of you guys were just said, hey, I can't make it today, but I definitely want to see the replay. Make sure you look at the description below the video. Okay. So that's going to all be there for you. This is a cheat sheet to just help you get started using AI as a job seeker. And we've kind of categorized all of the prompts for you. Now, the next thing I want to ask you, what brought you here today? So we have this live training. It's free. It's available to you guys on the internet. What brought you here today? So type into the chat what brought you here today. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, of course, I'm Heather Austin. I'm a university professor turned entrepreneur. So years and years ago, I was facing a lot of uncertainty in my own position, which led me to break away from the corporate rigmarole and start my own YouTube channel where I can now teach people like you across the world how to find a job you love. Okay. So a couple of things that we've been able to accomplish here. Of course, we've reached lots of milestones where we've helped tons of job seekers, but more importantly, we are a featured educator here on YouTube. So we've been selected, and I think there's maybe 1% of all the creators to teach you guys and to be an educator to you. Okay. So make sure you guys tune in because we have lots of amazing content planned for you today. Now we've managed to help people land jobs at top companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Disney, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Harvard, Stanford, Paramount, all these amazing companies. And we're going to share with you guys exactly how to do the same thing. Okay. Now, a few success stories that I wanted to share with you before we dive into the content. So Clay wrote in just recently to us and said, hey, I just wanted to send you a message and tell you how much your resume YouTube video helped me. He says, within 3 hours of sending in my resume, the VP of my #1 choice company contacted me and we moved along in the selection process on day 1. He goes on to say, I never expected results like that. I just wanted to express my gratitude and let you know you are on fire with resumes. So you guys, we're going to be teaching you all the same strategies that Clay had in his back pocket to land an interview with his top company. Now, here's what Amy said. She says, I stumbled across one of your YouTube videos, and I have to say it was the best resume video I have seen. The information you provided was so key and truly helped me overcome the hurdle of writing about myself and putting quantifiable achievements into my resume, which she said was previously lacking. She goes on to say, I was able to land the exact job I was after with a 30% salary increase. So here's the thing, you guys, we want the exact same success for you, okay? So let me see where you guys are in the chat in terms of why you are here today. Alejandra said, what brought me here was the tutorial and knowing how to enhance my resume and shine my talents at a sales rep. I love it. Hello, Tim. So happy you're here. Chris says, I've been searching for a job for almost a month now, and I have so much anxiety. Well, we're going to clear up some of that today, Chris. Let's see. CK says, I'm looking for a new job, but in the same industry, left in September of 2022, still haven't found a position. You guys, what we're going to teach you guys today is going to be actionable steps that you can take right away and you can apply to your job search and see success just like Clay and Amy, okay? And these are just a few of the success stories that we receive every single day from people just like you. So here's the thing. We are on air. This is a live training. I want you to put all the distractions away that you have. Put the do not disturb notification on your phone, close all the unnecessary tabs. And by the way, this is hard for me. I'm a multitasker. So I want you guys to be present. I want you to be ready to type into the chat. I want you to grab your favorite pen and your pencil or a notepad, whatever it is that you want to take notes on, because this is your time, okay? I have a very special bonus that I will be sharing with you if you stick around until the end with us. I'm going to share with you how you can get a free 60-minute career strategy consultation with me and my team and our Academy members, plus a detailed analysis of your resume. So you're definitely going to want to stick around for that. Now, let me ask you guys if this sounds familiar to you. Maybe you're not sure how long or how short your resume should be. Maybe like Amy, you are having a hard time quantifying all of your achievements. Maybe like a lot of people that we teach, you haven't written a resume in a really long time. And maybe you've had people that have referred you to jobs before, and now you're kind of thinking, oh boy, I need to get my resume ready so that I can start landing new job offers and better interviews, right? So tell me if that sounds familiar to you. Type yes into the chat if any of that sounds familiar. While you're typing yes into the chat, let me give you a quick rundown of what we're going to cover today. So the very first thing we're going to cover is how AI is revolutionizing the job search and recruitment process, okay? This is so important, you guys. We're then going to talk about formatting an AI-friendly resume that makes a powerful first impression. We'll dive into writing achievement statements that showcase your skills and expertise. And then I'm going to share with you guys 5 must-know ChatGPT prompts to craft a compelling resume that lands more interviews and better job offers. And we've never shared these prompts before, but these are proven prompts that we are using right now to help our clients and our students land more interviews and better job offers, okay? So I'm going to share 5 of those at the very, very end. Now, my next question for you, on a scale of 1 to 5, let's do 1 to 5, how would you rate your resume? 1 being your resume needs lots and lots of work. 5 being it's pretty good and you're getting job interviews with the current resume strategy that you're using. 1 to 5, how would you rate your resume? And while you guys are typing that in, let's look at our very first step today, which is how AI is revolutionizing the job search and recruitment process. So I'm going to share a couple of stats with you guys that are going to be mind-blowing, okay? Here's the first one. Forbes recently conducted a study with business leaders, and they found that 84% of business leaders have said that they believe artificial intelligence is the trend in the future that will help them stay competitive and have an advantage in the job market, okay? So employers are starting to put these AI recruitment tools to the test. And maybe you guys, or maybe you haven't encountered these tools over the last couple weeks or even over the last couple months. So there's 3 main reasons, and we'll jump into the resume in just a second, but it's super important for you to have a background knowledge of why this is all happening right now, okay? There's 3 main reasons why companies are using these AI recruitment tools. The first one is it allows them to analyze large volumes of data. Okay, so they can extract information really quickly and they can assess candidates based on specific criteria. Okay, the next reason is that it saves them tons of time and it reduces their costs. So, hello, why wouldn't they use this, right? The other reason why they're using AI recruitment tools is because it's more data driven and less and has more unbiases, right? So these are the three reasons that you have to keep at the top of your head and know that when you go into an interview or when you apply for a job, these companies are using AI recruitment tools to assess your abilities and your qualifications as a candidate. Now, here's another stat that I want to share with you guys. There is a study that MIT did. And they took, I want to say it was like 500,000 job seekers, okay? And what they did is they put them all through a test. Well, the job seekers that used AI to help them build their resume, their cover letter, what I'm about to teach you guys here today, they had 7.8% more job offers. And they had 8.4% higher wages. So what we are finding is that the job seekers that are putting these AI tools into place and using them in their job search are not only landing more job offers, but landing higher wages, you guys, okay? So let me see where you guys are in terms of your rating your resume. I'm seeing lots of threes. I like that. Kind of stay in the middle of the road there. Kevin says 2. Keith says 3. About Abbott Wedding says 8. Okay, I like that. Hello, Chastain. I'm so glad you're here. Says 5. Advocate says 2. Okay, so I'm seeing some 2s and 5s. Well, we're going to hopefully get this rating of yours up after today. Now, next question for you is, what AI recruitment tool have you used in your job search? And it could even be something as simple as maybe a company asked you to be assessed by a AI recruiter. Okay, and that was your first assessment. Or maybe you have started to use ChatGPT, or maybe you're using Bard. So what AI recruitment tool have you used in your job search? Type that into the chat. Now, before we get into what to ask ChatGPT and how to use AI, I want to show you need as much knowledge as possible, okay? So I want to show you how to craft an AI-friendly resume that makes a powerful first impression. So we're going to talk about the structure of the resume in just a second here. But what you need to know is, what is AI screening, or what we would call the ATS system, okay? It's pretty simple. It's a software tool that streamlines the hiring process. Okay, that's pretty basic. Every company uses some sort of AI or ATS, AI screening or ATS system to, again, cut costs, save time, extract data really quickly to assess your candidacy, okay? So I want to introduce you guys to what I call the 4-part framework to a winning resume. So there's 4 parts that your resume needs to be broken down into, okay? So we're going to go through each of these really quickly. We have our top part, we have our work experience after that, we have education and training, and then we have skills and other sections. That's it. Just these 4 parts. I'm going to show you what goes into these 4 parts before we jump into some prompts that you can ask ChatGPT. So really quickly, this is the top part of your resume. Now, I know my face is in the way, so I'm going to turn my camera off for just a second so that you guys can see the full picture of what the top part of your resume looks like. So you have your contact information, you have, that's a tongue twister, position-specific title, you have 3 key skills that fall within that, and then you have a professional summary, okay? So that's basically the structure of the top part of your resume. After that, we need some sort of work experience section, okay? Now, if you don't have a lot of work experience, this could be something like volunteer experience. You can make a heavy emphasis on education. Like, there's a lot of different things that you can put here, but this is the basic structure, okay? When it comes to your work experience, we want everything to be accomplishment oriented. We want it to be results driven. We want it to be keyword heavy, and then we want it to be quantifiable. Okay, these are the most important things when it comes to that work experience section. Now, after the work experience comes your education. Now, you might say, I don't have a formal education or whatnot. You can put other things in there like certifications, or maybe you have some sort of training, or maybe there's some other thing that you can put here that shows that, hey, in addition to my work experience, this is what else makes me qualified for this job, okay? So don't think of just a formal degree if you don't have one. Of course, any formal degree, you're going to put that here, okay? Now, after your education and training, and by the way, you guys, feel free to screenshot these pages, and this will be available for you on replay, okay? Because I know a lot of you, and every time I do trainings like this, people say, I had to go back and watch this a bunch of times and put into practice everything. So this will be available for you on replay. Now, when it comes to special skills and other sections, this is totally subjective to you and your experience and the position you're applying for, okay? Does that make sense? Type yes in the chat if you're understanding this. So I listed a bunch of other sections that I like to add to resumes. Number one being the technical skills section. But after that, you could also add a professional skills. Maybe you could add volunteer experience. Maybe you have professional memberships that you want to add, or even language competencies, or even awards and honors, okay? Think of what skills can you add that put you in the best possible light, okay? Does that make sense, you guys? Good. Yes, I'm seeing lots of yeses. Good, good, good. Okay, keep typing the yeses in. Now, of these parts that I just shared with you, which part of your resume needs the most work? Would you say it's the top part? Okay. Would you say it would be your work experience section? Maybe it's your education and training or like certifications, or would you say it would be special skills and other sections? Which part of your resume needs the most work? Type that into the chat. Awesome. Thanks, CK. It says 100% understood. I love it. Yep. And I like what Chastain said. Yes, sometimes I add a skills section depending on the role I'm applying to. I love that you mentioned this because what this means, let me see if I can highlight your comment here. What this means is that you can actually, you can switch things up on your resume depending on the position you're applying for. You don't have to keep everything the exact same for every position. In fact, I always recommend that you tailor your resume. Now, really quickly, let me show you the formatting of a nice, easy to read, ATS friendly and human reader friendly resume. We want to make sure that you have clear section headings. You'll notice in this example, my section headings are in bold, they're capitalized. You'll notice that you can clearly see the work experience section. I have things organized in nice, neat paragraphs and then bullet points. This is the formatting of a kick butt resume, okay? I know there's going to be a lot of other things out there that you're going to see, but I am telling you, this is the one that you want, okay? Let me share with you guys a couple final reminders before we jump into step 3. I don't want to see any columns or tables on your resume. I don't want to see any images, charts, or graphics, okay? Use clear hierarchy, which I just showed you in that on the last slide. Use keywords and phrases. And then use easy to read fonts. Now a lot of this stuff is basic, but just keep this in mind because we get lots of resumes every single week coming to the inbox. And I see these mistakes every single week. And I want to say, come to this training so you know not to do these things to your resume, okay? And I promise you guys, it will make your resume AI friendly. It's going to make it human reader friendly. And you're going to get past any systems or recruiters or anything like that if you have the content really good, okay? Good, okay. So based on what I just shared with you, is your resume AI friendly? So type into the chat yes or no if your resume is AI friendly. Yes, you guys will actually have access to this video on a replay. Okay, really quickly, let's jump into your achievement statement. So in addition to you guys just kind of understanding where the world of recruitment is going in terms of AI, it is a tool you need to start using and implementing because if you don't, you're going to get lost in the dust, okay? In addition to that, you understand how to format your resume, okay? I'm going to share with you guys where you can get templates and all sorts of things in just a second here. But then after that, you need to know how to write your achievement statement. So we could use AI to help us all day long on our resume, which we're going to, but at the same time, AI doesn't know what you've done unless you tell it what you've done, okay? You're going to basically tell it what you've done and have it help you write these achievement statements, but you need to understand how to write them first, okay? And I'm going to give you guys a prompt in just a second that you can be asking ChatGPT. So there's a couple slides I want to share with you to get your wheels spinning. So write this down, okay? I promise you're going to write this down. There's 4 specific phrases that you need to know when you're thinking about how do I write my achievement statements, okay? Here's the first one. I want you to think about I did this and the outcome was what? So think about the task that you've performed and what the outcome was. Okay, that's the first one. You guys got it? I did this and the outcome was what? Okay, here's the next one. I did this and it resulted in what? So you're thinking about an outcome. You're thinking about it resulted in. Okay, that's the second one. You ready for the third one? I did this and the difference it made was. Okay, and I'll flip through these in just a second again. Okay, that's the third one. The fourth one to help you guys get your wheels spinning on your achievements and all those great things you've done in the past and that you're doing right now. I did this and the value it brought was. Okay, those are the 4 statements you need to know to write these achievement statements. Okay, so let me review them really quick again. I did this and the outcome was. So what was the outcome? That's the first one. It resulted in. Okay, what was the result? So you're thinking about your task. I filed 30 papers and it resulted in a more efficient, streamlined process for the managers, which cut costs in the end. Okay, that's just a random, but it's that easy. You're talking about what you did and what was the outcome? What was the result? What was the difference it made? And what was the value it brought? Okay, does that make sense to you guys? Type yes into the chat if this makes sense. Okay, so you have your statements. You're thinking about the value you're bringing, what's the result, what are the outcomes, so on and so forth. What you need to do now is bring it all together in a statement, okay? This is a super easy statement. I know I've seen some people are mentioning the STAR system. Some people call this the CAR. Some people, this has so many different names. We're looking at the action verb plus the task plus the result. That's basically all you're thinking of when you're thinking about putting it into a resume. Okay, let me give you a couple of examples of what, we'll break this down in a second, but let me give you a couple of examples of action verbs, okay? This could be anything like oversaw, initiated, engineered, planned, mentored, implemented, whatever that might be. That's always going to be at the very part of your statement, okay? Then you're going to start piecing it together, and I'm going to show you guys examples in a second. Then you're going to start piecing it together with what the task and what the result was. Now, I get a lot of questions about, Heather, how do I quantify these things? Okay, so I want to show you guys a quick table, and I want you to look at when you're quantifying your achievements, I want you to think about quantitative but qualitative. Okay, so a lot of times I meet with people and they say, like for example, salespeople, they've got lots and lots and lots of qualitative accomplishments or achievements. Whereas teachers, on the other hand, they might not have as many of those qualitative achievements. Instead, theirs are more qualitative. Okay, so let me show you an example. Here's an example of, and I'll move my face in a second so you can see that block. Here's an example of quantitative achievements, okay, or measurements. Numbers, dollars, percentages, time, frequency, range. Anything that results to anything quantifiable, okay? But then if you're like, well, hey, I don't have a lot of those, I want you to focus on your qualitative, okay? So let me move my face for just a second here. If you're looking at your qualitative achievements, these are things like promotions. Maybe you've received an award. Maybe you have some sort of recognition that you've had, an acknowledgement, or maybe you have a specific skill set. Okay, so these might not have the fancy numbers that recruiters and hiring managers love, but you still can piece together like you were promoted, you received an honor, you had an award, you were recognized, okay? Think of breaking your achievements into both of these categories. Qualitative, of course, they're a lot sexier, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can't use some of the other qualitative. Now, let me give you guys an example of some achievement statements. So here's one. I assisted with customer service duties. Okay, that's pretty basic. That doesn't put everything together like I want it to be put together, okay? Well, here's another one. This is how I'd rewrite this. I achieved a 95% customer satisfaction rating by providing exceptional service and resolving inquiries in a timely manner, resulting in increased customer loyalty and positive reviews. Now, so many of the times when we get resumes, all it says is things like assisted with customer service duties. And I'm like, oh, there's so much more to that. You answered things in a timely manner. You increased customer loyalty. Like anyone that works in customer service could take this statement and put it on their resume, right? Now, of course, you'd want to make sure you get the achieved a 95% rating, that number right. And by the way, don't feel like it has to be exact. Employers know that you are using an approximation because it's really hard to know the exact number in a lot of cases, okay? Now, here's another example. This is the top one, of course, is not how to do this. Analyze data and generated insights for decision making, okay? Well, in that case, I'm going to say developed and implemented a predictive analytics model. Okay, now I know this sounds complicated, but I'm going to show you guys how to use AI to help you with this in a second, that reduced customer churn rate by 15% within 6 months, resulting in annual cost savings of $500,000 for the company. So would you say the first statement sounds better or the second statement sounds better? Notice how we've now added so much more to that statement just by adding a few more details, okay? We're adding the percentage, we're adding the time frame, we're adding money in there. We're doing a lot of different things here, okay? So again, make sure that you are thinking about this when you're writing your own statements. Okay, I want to know from you one results-driven achievement statement that you can add to your resume. One results-driven achievement statement that you can add to your resume. Pop that into the chat. This is the toughest question of all today, you guys. At least I think it is. This is really where you're going to have to think. Now, let me pop this slide up. Remember, you're using your action verb, your task, and your result. Now, if you're like, oh crap, I can't get that statement together that quick, that's okay. Give me like a task. Just give me something that shows that you're achieving something or that you've achieved something, okay? Good. Okay, I'm loving it. So many good ones in the chat. Okay, while you guys are typing that in, this content is going to blow your mind. So please, please, please take notes. Participate in the chat with us on this because I've never shared this before, but we're talking about 5 must-know ChatGPT prompts to craft a compelling resume that lands more interviews and better job offers. So I have a question for you. Would you like your resume to take you 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes to perfect and get ready? Or would you rather it take you 2, 3, 4, 5 hours? Okay, which one would you rather? I'm going to show you guys how to do a resume that takes you 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, okay? But here's the thing. You have to use everything I've taught you so far, and you need an amazing template to put it into if you want this to work, okay? So if you have not done so already, go to chat.openai.com and make an account. Now, I want to know, I wish you guys were in my class and I could say, raise your hand. Who has a ChatGPT account? But I'm going to say that anyway. And I want you to type AI in the chat if you have a ChatGPT account already. Oh, I'm loving all of these achievement statements. Jim says, design and implement test plans by considering various test technologies and methodologies, resulting in a remarkable 40% improvement in test effectiveness over the span of 2 years. I love it. So dang good. Good. Okay. So most of you guys have an account. Okay. So let's get into the nitty gritty. I'm going to share with you guys. And by the way, you're not going to find this anywhere else because this is like real and raw and up to the minute data that we've just created just now for you guys so that you can start using this right now. Okay, let's go into our first prompt. Okay, you guys like the screen that I created? Isn't it so cute? Okay, so this is our very first prompt. So, okay, well, let me back up. Before we prompt chat with anything, I want you guys to have a somewhat copy of your resume ready if you don't already have one. You need an existing resume, sort of, okay? I mean, you could have it write you a resume from scratch, but I would love to have you have your resume somewhat created already. And then you need the job description. So you need 2 things before you get started. So here's the other thing I want to say. I want you to make this as conversational and positive as possible when you speak to ChatGPT. It's your friend. Speak positively to it. Let it know, hey, that was awesome. Thank you. Sometimes we don't do that, but I want you to do that. Okay, so notice in this prompt, take a screenshot of this. I have 5 of these to share, plus I might have a bonus prompt. I said, hi there. This is a new job I'm applying for. Can you help me extract the top 5 to 10 key skills from this position? And then I'm going to paste the job description. And then I'm going to send the message, okay? Now, depending on the results that you're going to get, I'm going to show you what you're going to do with the results. So I randomly pulled like a data analyst position from LinkedIn. It was a position for SiriusXM. Okay. So I pulled that, did this exact same prompt, and then these are the results that I get, which you're not going to be able to read all these. It's kind of small, but I'm going to share with you guys just a couple of the things that are popping out. So one of the things it's saying is something about incident response, which by the way, I've never worked as a data analyst, so I don't know all this stuff, right? But if I was a data analyst, I would know exactly what it's talking about. It also is talking about network and packet analysis, phishing triage, malware and hacking analysis. So it's giving me, based on that job description, the skills for that position. Now, here's what I want you to do. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the top 3 skills that you possess. You don't need to be a master of these skills. You're not a master of them, but you have them. Okay, you could do that, right? I want you to jump over to your resume, and I want you to, by the way, the resume format that I'm going to share with you in just a second where you can get, I want you to put the title of the position, and then I want you to put those top 3 skills at the top, right under the headline, okay? So in this case, I would have put, let me go back to this screenshot again really quickly. I would put something like incident response, packet analysis, and phishing triage. I'd put those 3 things at the very top. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. The top skills that it's giving you and what it's telling you, this is what your whole resume should have, that theme. And then when you go into an interview, because not only that, let me go back to the screenshot again. You're going to now, notice it's giving me 10 that I can see right here on the screen. I should have some really good career stories that I can now tell in my interview that relate to these top skills that are in the position. Okay? Does that make sense? Is that making sense, you guys? I know you guys are smart and I know that you're here, and so I know that it is making sense to you. Okay, so that's going to be what we do with our first prompt, okay? Don't get too excited or carried away just yet. We've got a couple more, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to ask it, this is a long one, but it's super, super, super important. And by the way, these prompts are not in the cheat sheet that we have the link for you posted in the chat. So you're going to have to screenshot this, okay? So prompt number 2, I'm going to say, hey, well, first I'd be like, hey, that was awesome. Thanks so much. Okay. And then I'm going to say, can you craft a compelling resume summary that highlights my X number of years of experience in the ABC field? Showcase, and I'm not done. Okay. I'm giving it as much information as possible. Remember, I'm going to say, showcase how my professional background and expertise can address the company's major pain points. Mention my notable accomplishment of XYZ and conclude by emphasizing my expertise in ABC, whatever that is of yours, okay? So this is going to take you a little bit of thinking, but I promise you, the better you can prompt ChatGPT, the better the result is going to be, okay? And by the way, I haven't even shared my resume yet. Okay, all I've done so far is I've just given it the job description. Okay, so let me show you what the results look like. Well, I'll sit here for a second. Screenshot this, you guys. Type yes into the chat as soon as you get this screenshotted. I'm going to see if we have some questions that I can answer too. While you guys are screenshotting that. Okay, really good question. Do you require keywords to exactly match keywords in the job description for ATS to elevate your resume? Yes, keywords should match exactly. So some companies are going to say like customer management, right? Other companies might call it customer service. Some companies might call it customer experience. It needs to match exactly what the position is. And that's where tailoring your resume really comes into play. Okay, good. I think you guys have that one. And if you need me to jump back to that, let me know. That's prompt 2. So when I've prompted ChatGPT, what it does is it gives me a big, huge, freaking long statement. And I'm like, oh, brother, come on. I'm not going to use that on my resume. So what I'm showing you here is I'm now telling it, I'm saying, oh, okay, that's great. But can you now condense this to 5 to 6 sentences, including only the most relevant information for the job posting? Okay, so let me say that again because I don't have it is on the screen, but it's sort of small. Can you condense this to 5 to 6 sentences? So I'm now just saying, I could even say, can you shorten this? But remember, I'm giving it as specific information as I can. Can you condense this to 5 to 6 sentences, including only the most relevant information for the job? Okay. And then, do you see what's below it, you guys? This is a freaking kick butt summary that I can now tailor, edit, kind of review, and put on my resume. Okay. And all it took was me asking that initial prompt and then me just saying, can you shorten it? Okay. And now that summary is pretty much your entire career story wrapped up in a nice, beautiful package with a bow. Okay. So hopefully you guys are getting results like this as you're prompting ChatGPT. Okay, what I do with that now is I jump back over to my resume and and by the way, I didn't pop it at anything. This is just a screenshot. I haven't popped any of the results into a resume just yet, but I'm going to now rewrite my summary. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to put what ChatGPT gave me, and then I'm going to adjust it. Okay. I'm going to tailor it because sometimes it adds funky words and you have to tailor what it gives you. Okay. Is this awesome or what, you guys? Are you like, okay, this is great? Because I have more. Oh, someone asked, is the paid version worth it? I have the paid version of ChatGPT. Everything I'm showing you guys is on the free version. Okay. So you don't need it. I use it all day long for other things. So I like the paid version, but it's really funny. I actually tend to just use the free version of it. Okay. My next prompt for you guys, and then I have a really special offer for you in just a second, and then we'll do resume reviews. So prompt number 3 is, my current job title is XYZ. So now we're going to move into asking it to help us write the work experience section. Okay. My current job title is XYZ. Can you provide a 1 or 2 sentence summary of this position? Now, the reason why I'm prompting it with this is because if you've seen my resume templates, I list the company, and the position. And then I like to have like a nice little sentence or two, maybe not even two sentences, one or two maybe. And it explains the position at a glance, okay? So take a screenshot of this. My current job title is XYZ. Can you provide a 1 or 2 sentence summary of this position? Now, let me show you the result because it's freaking awesome. The result is, and by the way, I'm doing a data scientist position, okay? As a data scientist, it says you apply statistical analysis and blah, 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 blah. Well, what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to take that, I'm going to say, apply statistical analysis and machine learning techniques to extract insights and patterns from data. I could leave it at that, or I could I could go into say, helping make data-driven decisions and solve complex problems. Okay, that's going to be the sentence at the top of my work experience. Okay, and I'll show you an example in just a second. Okay, the next prompt that goes along with this one, okay, is going to be where we're now asking it to help us with those bullet points on our resume. So this is prompt number 4, okay? Screenshot this. Can you list my most important and relevant accomplishments and responsibilities using achievement-driven bullet points? Now, this is where your knowledge and being here today and learning all this stuff today really helps, because you're saying start each bullet point with an action verb, followed by the task, and conclude with the result. And then I'm digging even deeper. I'm going to say, please quantify the bullet points using numbers, percentages, and dollar amounts. So here's the thing, you guys. If you didn't attend this training today and you didn't know the stuff to ask, you're not going to get the results that are really going to make an impact in your job search, okay? So it's super, super, super important that you guys are here, that you're listening, and that you understand the structure and all the back end that goes into a really good resume so that you know what to ask it, okay? So take a screenshot of this. Notice, I'm going to show you guys what the results is in just a second. Let me answer a couple more questions so you guys can have time to screenshot that. Okay, someone asked if you are, let's see, if you're not in the current role, do you present tense or past tense to beat the bots? Okay, if it's not a current role, doesn't matter about beating the bots or not, you have to past tense everything, okay? If it's a position you did a while back, everything is in past tense. Someone asked, how do you know the top 3 skills to pick? Really, really, really good question. You're gonna base it on your own experience, your own, like, you understand the job, right? So you're going to kind of say, well, which one sounds better on my resume? Which one maybe am I the best at? And you could even ask ChatGPT, hey, can you rank these in order? And you know what? That list that it gave us, it's probably ranked in order already. But you could even ask, can you rank these in order of importance based on the job description? Okay, let me show you guys what the result is from this prompt. Look at these freaking awesome bullet points. Now, that just took like 10 hours of you thinking and working and yada, 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 and it did it in a matter of like 1 minute, 10 seconds, okay? So you have to make sure that you take these bullet points and you rework them how you need to, because chat is only going to give you what it knows. So the more information you can give to chat, the better. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to my resume template. I'm going to pop that very first paragraph in, okay, that it gave me, and then I'm going to put my bullet points in, okay? Okay, my next prompt for you guys. This one's really easy. So I told you guys, a lot of you, I've said, I really like a technical skill section on a resume. If you're ever like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure what I should put in my technical skills section, all you're going to do is jump over to chat and say, hey, can you show me an example of a technical skills section on a resume for a whatever position, a nursing position, a project manager, a data scientist, a business analyst, an accountant. It doesn't matter, a programmer, an engineer. Like, have it give you an example. Now, here's the other thing too. You can also ask it to give you an example of the education section on a data scientist's position. You could ask it to give you an example of like a certifications section for a data scientist. It's going to like extract that information and give you an example. Now, you have to tailor that, okay? But let me show you the result of this. So notice it's giving me technical skills, programming, data analysis, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is great. And I could be like, oh yeah, I do know that. That's a really good one I need to add. And I can now start adding my own spin on what it's giving me, okay? Okay, I have a bonus prompt for you guys, okay? Now, you get it all done. Okay, you've worked through each section. And by the way, we have found, and we're experimenting with ChatGPT every single day. We have found that the more granular you can get, like let's work on one section at a time, the better the results is, because it allows you to kind of put your fine touch on each section. Okay, but when you're done and you feel like, okay, I think this is good. Why not go back and ask it to help you make it even better? Okay. So I'm going to say, hey, here's my resume and here's the position I'm applying for. How would you make my resume better? What can I better tailor to the position? Or how can I better tailor this resume to the position? Okay. I want you guys to give me, if you can give a mind blown emoji in the chat, give that, or just type yes in the chat if this is blowing your mind, okay? If you're like, okay, this is going to save me so much time and so much agony and so much frustration. And not only that, if you think about the stats that I shared earlier with you guys, you're going to land jobs faster and make more money just by using this, okay? Okay, so here's the other thing. You guys need a template. And you need all the resources to go along with it, okay? So I shared with you guys just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to your resume, all that good stuff. But you also need to have an amazing template, an amazing resource to go along with that. So I'm going to share with you guys where you can get that in just a second. But what I always share when I talk about AI, I always share the potential risks and the setbacks. Okay, so I want you to be aware of this. I don't want you to over-rely on AI, okay? There are some biases in AI, so just be aware of that. It's like a child that we are training, okay? It's not going to be perfect. You never want to share personal data, okay? There are privacy and security risks associated with it, so be really careful of that. And there are some inaccuracies. So be mindful of these things as you're using it. And if you are, and you put into practice some of the tactics that I've shared with you guys today, you're going to do amazing, okay? So what's your biggest takeaway so far today? Your biggest takeaway so far today, type that into the chat. Now, you probably joined today's session because you wanted a better understanding of ChatGPT or AI or how you can beat the job search, because recruiters obviously are now starting to implement AI. Well, you need to also implement AI to help you overcome AI, okay? You probably even came here today because you thought, Heather, look, I want to land a life-changing job offer. I want to have a better work-life balance. I want more time doing things that I love and spending time with people I love. Now, I don't have magic resources or secret tools. You guys have seen today. It could seem magic, but it's really not. But I do have proven concepts and strategies that work and that have allowed my clients and my students to land jobs at companies they love and land work they love that gets them out of bed in the morning. So here's the thing, you guys. I want to invite you to join us inside of the Career Advancement Toolkit. If you've never heard of the Career Toolkit, it's an elite bundle with video lessons, templates, guides, instructions, and examples to help you secure your next job offer. So our number one goal for you is that you apply and interview with confidence. Let me share a few success stories with you guys. So Robert recently wrote in to us. He actually had been a realtor for the past 9 years. Before that, he was in the US Army for 7. So he said, I basically had no need for a resume. But he said, I used your template and followed all of your instructions to the letter and landed an interview with the exact company that I was interested in. He goes on to say, I'm using your interview guide cheat sheet. I was thrilled to know that you provided everything I needed to prepare and land this position. Here's what happened with Serena. She said, I landed my dream job as a marketing manager. I followed all of Professor Heather Austin's advice, from creating the resume and cover letter to the interview process to revamping my LinkedIn profile and much, much more. She says, I purchased her program because it made a world of a difference. Here's what happened with Josh. He wrote in and said, after being laid off, I found your toolkit and it was an absolute game changer. He says, I was getting interview requests like crazy and ended up landing a job for over $50,000 more per year. He says, 100% the best investment ever. So let me share with you guys really quickly what's inside the toolkit. So in module 1, you'll actually build your irresistible resume. So you're going to use everything that you guys learned today, but you're now going to discover how to create a clear structure, and again, how to dive deeper into those results-driven achievement statements. Now, inside of module 1, we have resume templates for almost every single scenario. Little work experience, no work experience, recent graduates, maybe you're transitioning careers, or maybe you have an employment gap. We even have a new addition for our academic CV. So anyone that is going into academia, maybe a research position, a teaching position, that's included inside of module 1. Now, inside of module 2, we jump into creating your compelling cover letter, okay? I always like to look at your cover letter as a mini sales presentation, okay? So again, we have examples and templates for someone transitioning careers, someone who wants to go on a career growth journey, or maybe you're just ready for that next level in your career. We even have a sales manager cover letter, okay? So that's inside of the toolkit. Inside of module 3, you actually dive into networking, specifically using LinkedIn, and we talk about crafting your headline and your about summary, okay? We also have some amazing networking templates, which I like to call these our hidden job market templates. So it allows you to tap into that hidden job market that you guys I know have heard about. In fact, here's just a quick screenshot of just a few of the templates that we have in here. And there's many, many more. We're adding templates all the time for you guys. So we have a follow-up message after a connection, reaching out to a recruiter, which is probably one of the most popular ones, letting your colleagues or friends know that you're open to a new job, asking for a referral for a position. Maybe you're interested in a position that wasn't advertised and you want to reach out to the hiring team so that they can bring you in and hire you. We have a template for that. A template for asking for an endorsement, asking for recommendations, writing a recommendation for someone else. So we've put everything together for you in a nice, clean format that you can follow and not get overwhelmed or confused about. Now, we also have our career experts proven resume templates and examples. So again, this is where you can take what you've learned here today, but unless you have a really awesome, amazing template to put it into, it gets a little confusing. So all of that is inside of the toolkit. And of course, you guys always know that I have bonuses whenever we do a live stream. So our first free gift is a job search tracker. So this is where you get to keep your job search organized and on track. And this is a really easy to follow tracker. It includes only the most relevant information to help you make sure you're not leaving any loose ends in any of the positions that you're applying for. Our free gift number 2 is where you can craft your powerful pitch. So again, we are big proponents on you having some sort of sales pitch as a job seeker. We call that your 30-second pitch. In fact, in a couple of weeks here, we have a brand new video coming out where I'm showing you how to use ChatGPT to help you with your powerful pitch. Okay, so that free gift is included inside of the toolkit. Free gift number 3 is our job interview confidence training. So this is where you're going to uncover the keys to acing your next job interview. You get 5 power-packed lessons to help you outshine the competition. Okay. We shared a link with you guys today for our, I can't remember how many prompts was that, 20 or 25? Oh, 25 powerful prompts. Well, we have another addition to the toolkit that we recently added. It's not just 25 prompts, it's 120 prompts, okay? Actually more than 120. So we've categorized all of these prompts into like networking, resume, cover letter, interview prompts, job searching, career clarity, salary negotiation. So we have over 120 prompts with an additional training. That's also included inside of the toolkit. Now, for our fast action bonuses, you guys, the first 20 people to sign up for the toolkit, which by the way, this will probably be gone today, will receive a 60-minute group career coaching consultation. This is an invite-only link to a private session with me and my team and our academy members. So you get to show up. We have guest speakers come to these calls. We have additional trainings. And more importantly, we have space for you guys to come and ask questions and get any of those, your biggest career questions answered in person on live with me on Zoom. But that only goes to the first 20 people, okay? Now, here's a bonus, a fast action bonus. We have never added this before, okay? This is the very first time you guys are going to see this, and maybe the last, we don't know. If you enroll before tonight, okay, so we have an expiring bonus for you. So before tonight, June 27th, is that the date? I think so. It's summertime, so we're all discombobulated with the times and the dates. If you enroll before tonight, June 27th, you'll get a personalized resume review. This is going to be a written, detailed analysis of your resume with custom feedback on how to strengthen and improve, okay? So we're going to be taking our human touch and what we know as hiring managers, recruiters, resume writers, career coaches, and we're going to be adding our personal touch onto that, but that is in a written, detailed analysis, okay? That's if you enroll today, okay? Here's the thing with this expiring bonus. I want you to go through the content, and I want you to at least complete module 1 in the toolkit and put into practice everything that you've learned and then send us your resume, okay? I don't want you to jump in and be like, hey, give me your detailed analysis right now. No. I need you to go through the content. I need you to understand the structure of writing your resume, put the pieces together. You can also use today's training as a guideline. And then I want to look at your resume. And I also want to see a job description that you're interested in as well. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. All the value of the trainings, the templates, the guides, and the resources in this. In fact, it's actually worth more than $32.03. I haven't even updated that price in a while. Everything inside here is worth $32.03, but you can grab the toolkit today for just $147. Now, I know I say this every time I do a live stream on this. This will probably be the very, very, very last time we ever have the toolkit priced at this price point. We're adding so many amazing content, especially with all of the amazing AI and recruitment tools and all that training that we're adding to our programs. This will be the very last time that you are able to access the toolkit for this price. Now, here's the other thing. I always promise a lifetime access to the toolkit. This might be the only and the last time you get lifetime access. So anytime that we make updates to the program, add our ChatGPT lessons in there, add our AI training lessons in there, anytime we do that, you will have access to it. But this is probably the last time we will have lifetime access, okay? So here's the thing. This flash offer is only going to last until Thursday. We have our fast action bonus. First 20 people to get in will receive a special invite-only link to our group call. And then whoever enrolls today will receive a detailed analysis of your resume. But this flash offer will end on June 29th on Thursday, okay? So to get started, all you need to do is go to heatheraustin.online/live offer. I know that Tori has the link for you in the chat. I'm also going to place it into the chat. And then I'm going to pin the comment at the very top for you guys. And this also will be in the description below. I know there were a lot of you that said, hey, I can't be at today's training, but I really, really, really want to watch it. So you'll get the link in the description below unless you're following along in the chat. So here's the thing, you guys. The final step after you go to heatheraustin.online live offer is to enter the secure checkout using either PayPal or credit card. And yes, we do offer PayPal. Took us a lot of time to get that system set up, but that is there for you guys as an option. Let me share a couple more success stories with you guys, and then we'll jump into resume reviews. So Erin wrote in and said, your resume, cover letter, and interview guidance successfully helped me receive 2 job offers. So she actually goes on to say that she applied to only 2 full-time jobs. She was working part-time at the time in a totally different industry. So she didn't waste time going and applying to 100 jobs or 50 or even 20. She applied to 2 and received job offers from both of them. She goes on to say that it's her dream job, which carries the benefit of increased pay and, more importantly, work in an area which I find rewarding. I truly believe it was your method of guidance and teaching that led to me successfully receiving those job offers. So you guys, everything we do here is very intentional. Anytime we put a training out, anytime we create a template for you guys, it is intentional so that we can get you on the same path that Erin is, on the same path that Clay is, on the same path of all the success stories that we receive every single day. Here's what happened with Heather. She says, I wanted to give you an update. I landed a job. Your resume and cover letter advice helped me get interviews with almost every company I submitted to and an offer that was well above the salary range that the company quoted. Let me share with you guys. I'm going to share another one. Tracy, she actually was in a internship, but she was able to turn her internship into a permanent position. She says, Heather's resources helped me land an interview for a web developer internship. So definitely use her resume and cover letter templates, which are in the toolkit. And my internship recently offered me a full-time position. I am so elated. And she also switched careers. Okay. So just to recap, you guys, what's inside of the toolkit, let me remove my face again really quick, and then you guys can see where are we? There we are. Okay, so you'll have access to 4 learning modules with high impact lessons and video tutorials. You'll have access to the Career Experts template and example vault. Of course, our first free gift is your job search with Tracker. You also have access to create your powerful pitch. That's your second free gift. Third free gift is your job interview confidence training. VIP bonus is the 120 plus proven ChatGPT job seeker prompts. We have our fast action bonus, which is a 60-minute group career coaching consultation. And then, of course, today's expiring bonus, which is a detailed analysis of your resume. And then lifetime access to the curriculum and templates, which we probably won't be offering lifetime access again. And we probably won't be offering the toolkit at this price, okay? I wanted to mention that now. This is going to be the last time that we offer it at this price. So really quickly, go to heatheraustin.online/live offer if you want to join us before those fast action bonuses are gone. Here's what Tanya said. I'm finally employed again in an industry I love and know well. I applied to a total of 9 positions via LinkedIn and Indeed. She got 6 interview requests that all led to second interviews, and she received 3 offers. Okay. So this is our goal for you guys, and we don't want it to take a lot of time. I know that some of you had mentioned, I've been searching for a job for a couple of months. We want you to get in and get out, meaning get in to the toolkit, get the information you need, and get out and land your dream job offer. Okay. Or let's call it a life-changing job offer. Okay, I want to do resume reviews in just a second here, but I also want to see, Tori, if we have any pressing questions that we need to make sure we answer before we get into reviews. Let's see. Someone asked, you insert your current description of your role to get these results. It depends. So when I did all of the chat GPT prompts that I shared with you guys, I was focused on a data analyst role, and I actually didn't even share the resume. Like, I was just giving it the job description and then my current title. Okay. So you can get results through that, but you've got to be really, really, really intentional about how you prompt, like how you're saying those prompts or what you're telling ChatGPT. Okay. Yes, good question. Awesome. Welcome to all of you amazing people that are joining us in the toolkit. Tori's welcoming you guys in the chat as well. I can't wait for you to get in and get started. By the way, when you guys enroll, you'll have instant access to all of the modules, okay? Everything's already there available for you. The only thing that's not instant access is our career coaching call, which, by the way, I'm going to give you the date of that because I have it right here, and then the detailed analysis of your resume, which you need to send it to me first, and I want it to look somewhat decent, okay, before you send it in. July 20th is our next group call that you will have a special invite to. Okay. Good. Okay. I'm going to pop up my resumes because I have a couple resumes here that I wanted to review really quickly. And by the way, thank you to everyone who submitted your resume. We had so many resumes submitted, and it's so hard to pick the ones to review, but I narrowed it down on a couple. So let me switch my screen here, and you guys should see the first resume. And I'll zoom in too as we're going. So, okay, this resume, I'll kind of give you like some information on just like general formatting, then we'll kind of dive into the content. So this is a 3-page resume. I'm not opposed to the formatting, which I really like how this individual has used like titles and headlines and bold and capitalization to make things stand out. I think that's fantastic. I think everyone needs to do that. The one thing that concerned me is just the length of the resume. So it's a 3-page resume, which we want to get this condensed down into a 2-page. Now, I know that this individual probably has lots and lots and lots of experience, but we definitely need to get this down into a 2-page resume. The other thing I wanted to mention is at the top, I would actually like to see your name a little bit bigger and bolder, okay? If I show you guys the master resume template that's inside of the toolkit, you'll notice that the name is nice and big at the top, and this is exactly how I want you guys to have it. We have our contact information. We do have a city, state, zip. Sometimes you don't even need to put the city, state, zip. We have an email address and then the LinkedIn URL, okay? That's how I want the top of your resume to look. It can be centered if you want. It can be left aligned if you want. Now, so that's what I would recommend there. In terms of the headline and the 3 key skills, I want to see, I like that you've done this because a lot of people don't even do this, which you're already one step ahead from doing that. But I would love to see the headline a little bit bigger. So again, if we look at the example, notice how I've given the headline just a little bit bigger font and then the 3 key skills under it. And by the way, you guys, this is the template that I use for every single training. Like, I love this template so much. Like, it's just easy to follow. So if you've seen this before, I use this for every training. But below the headline, you'll have your 3 key skills, okay? So I would love to see like that hierarchy difference where the principal information technology professional, that's bolded or a little bit bigger. The other thing I wanted to mention about the headline here is principal information technology professional. I don't, is that like like when you put the word professional in there, to me, it's like a little bit vague. Like, so principal information technology director, manager, I would love to see more of that. So I'd get really specific with what that is. Whatever the job title is, I want it to be right there. And then of course you can go in and ask ChatGPT, hey, give me the top, in our case, when we did our prompt, we said, extract the top 5 to 10 skills and then make sure that those are in the job posting. Okay. I would take out the word professional summary. You don't need that in there because that's going to be this like a summary at the top. I would like to see this a little bit longer. I like how you have principal system software professional with extensive experience turning complex business requirements, strong technical, adept. I would love to see something like expertise in. Now, when I do summaries, it's so specific. I give like some words at the beginning that are describing the person, results driven, sales, marketing, and consulting professional. I would love to see that. And those are words taken from the job posting. Does that make sense? And then I like to say proven track record of doing something. And then I like to say expertise in whatever. Okay. Now with your resume, the thing that I'm concerned about, I actually don't love core competencies and technical skills at the top. The reason why is because you have so much work experience that needs to really be like the highlight. Like that should really be right after your summary, as close to the top as possible. So I would love to see you put professional experience right at the top. And then let's remove core competencies and technical skills, and let's put that toward the bottom. Okay. Now, let me show you the resume template, because again, you guys, every resume is different depending on the person. Like your resume is not going to look just like your neighbor next door. Like everyone's going to have a different version. Now, hopefully you have a nice, beautiful format like this, but the content's going to be different, and it's based on you and the position you're applying for, right? So in this case, in this example, I do have a competency section toward the top. However, if this person has years and years and years of experience, I actually would probably take that off altogether. Okay. Now, the other thing I have at the top is I have a career highlights section. I like those highlight sections, especially if you do have lots of experience and you have a position that was maybe 10 years ago that you want to mention something about that position, but you don't want them, you're not listing things that are like 10 to 15 years old, right? And you want them to still know about it. The highlight section is a really, really, really powerful section for that. Now, for this resume, I mean, you could add that, but I would say let's remove the competencies section and let's move technical skills down below, okay? I like that you've labeled professional experience. I would keep that there. I would actually, anything that's in italics, I would take it out of italics. I don't love italicized. I don't know if I've changed my templates yet. I have. Okay, this one is changed. Some of them I haven't changed. Then they do have like random italics in there, but I would take the italicized out. I would also right align the date, and I would put it in numeric format. So notice in the example, and by the way, I'm bouncing back and forth so I can show you what to do. I would have your dates right aligned, and then I would have it with the date in number and year format, okay? Yes. Okay. So let's look at this introductory sentence. It says, sorry, let me see if I can get off of that. It says managing an SQL development team of 10 developers, running Scrum meetings, and changing the way tickets are handled. You have a really good start here. I want to highly encourage you to, how can we dive deeper into this? Even if you have ChatGPT help you with this, like how can I make this statement better? Or how can I make this statement more results oriented? I want to see it a little bit longer. So right now you have tickets are handled on one line. If you're going to go to the second line below it, and tell me if this is making sense to you guys, I want to see you use like at least half of that second line, because it's poor use of white space and we don't do that. So give me just a little bit more to this sentence, and then it should do that. Okay, here's a really good example of brought in Scrum, Agile, and story points. Okay, this is a task. Okay, you've given me the task, which is awesome. But if you guys remember back to the slides that we talked about, and I said, I told you to like brainstorm. It's not just a task we're looking at, but we're also looking at the outcome was, it resulted in, the difference it made was, or the value it brought was. Okay, that's what you need to do on these bullet points. And I want you to go through every single one. And if you don't have it there, give it to us. Okay, like give us the result, the outcome, the value, whatever that is to that task. Okay. Now I do see, improved in performance by 50% due to cross-training and alleviated stress and pressure on individuals that were directly receiving tickets. Okay, so this I would also ask. In fact, what I would do here is I would copy this whole entire section into ChatGPT and say, hey, these are the bullet points from my resume for my manager SQL developers position. How would you make these better? And then I would give it the guidelines to make it better, which again is the results, the action verb, the results, and the task. And then I would ask it to quantify. But you need to know like how it's making it better. You're doing better with this statement when you're getting it into that results-driven achievement statement, but I want to see the wording just cleaned up a little bit. And I want it to make sense just a little bit more. But notice what you're doing is you have that action verb and you're giving us the result, which is increased performance by 50%. And then you're giving us the task. Okay, so keep that in mind. I want you to go through each of these bullet points and just make them a little bit stronger. Okay, let's talk a little bit before we get into this next resume, and then I'll answer a couple questions before we finish up here today. When we're looking at the resume and how far back you should go, it actually really shouldn't go any more than 10 to 15 years. So I really want you guys that have all this amazing work experience to really think about what I want to take out, because I need to condense it and I need to include only the most relevant information. If you look at the resume template, I'm going to scroll down to page 2 so you can see how I've written a position that was older, where I'm not listing anything but the title, the company, and the dates. Okay, this is how I want you guys to list it, just like that. And you're not listing any data because the most important data is at the top. Okay. And then you'll throw in a technical skills section toward the bottom. And you've lumped education, certifications, training, and distinctions together. I think that's okay. I like how you've done that. I actually like that. I would have education, then I'd have your technical skills right below that. And if some of these positions that you have at the bottom, like let's say this was October 02 to June 08, you might want to have a highlight section where you bring up some of this information and now it's at the top because we're going to get rid of that, okay? I know that's scary, but we are, because we want a 2-page resume and we want to only include what's relevant. Most employers, that's what they want to see. Okay, you guys, type into the chat if this is helpful to you. Type yes into the chat if this is helpful for you. And I'm going to jump into this next resume. Yes, awesome. I'm so happy to see so many of you guys joining us inside of the toolkit. If you have any questions about it, Tori and I will be on standby today and throughout Thursday. Just send us an email, heather@professораustin.com, and we will get your questions answered. And by the way, I love Tori so much. Tori, you are the best. If it wasn't for you, I could not jump online and do what I do. So I just love you so much. Tori has been such an amazing support system, and she's just so great, you guys. Okay, I lost the resumes. Let me find them again. You guys see it, but for some reason, my screen lost it. Okay, let's move into this next resume. So again, I'm going to talk about what I like about this resume. I like that you have your title at the top. I can see your title. I can see education. I can see work experience. All that's nice and clear. That's great. But what we need to do is we need to get this resume into our format, okay? Remember when I mentioned you guys, I shared that slide just of final reminders about your resume, no columns, no graphics, no charts, that kind of stuff. We want to remove all that and we want it in just a nice, I'm going to call this our AI friendly resume where it just reads from top to bottom. It's simple. I almost said plain, but it's really not plain. It's just not fancy and frou-frou, okay? It's just to the point. It has our title, the employer, and the AI bots are going to know exactly what they're looking for as soon as they see it. When we send a resume in this format, it jumbles up all the information and we need to get it out of this format. So I'm going to actually recommend that you just copy and paste the information into the new format. Now, this, for example, could be your summary, okay? Dedicated and organized individual with good interpersonal skills and with 25 years of experience in medical transcribing, editing, and proofreading documents. Okay, that first sentence is great. I'm going to pinpoint some of the things that you guys need to pay attention to when it comes to these resumes. We are never speaking in first person, okay? So you're never going to say me, my, or I. Take all that out. It's a very specific way when we write a resume. It's like a totally different language. So take all of that out. Again, this resume had a profile photo on it. So where that block is, I've X'd out that photo. So you can't see the photo, but we don't want any photos either. Now, as I scroll down, contact information, again, that's going to be at the top. Make sure you include your email. Make sure you include a link to your LinkedIn URL. We are also never going to have hobbies, okay? Hobbies is not something that we put on a resume. I know this is probably like, I want to guess a resume. And by the way, if you're here, this individual, because I know I emailed you to say I'm reviewing your resume, let us know where you found the template. But I'm assuming there's like a Canva or there's like templates out there that do this, but we never want to have hobbies on a resume, okay? I do like to teach you guys that when you go to LinkedIn and you write your about section, I want you to put like a very last statement on there that's like, I love reading calligraphy, watercolor lettering, and crafting. Like, give us some personality there, but we're not going to do it on your resume, okay? And if I remember right, there's one more thing. Oh, references available upon request. We're also never going to mention that, okay? We're not going to ever say that. It's assumed if someone does want your references, they'll ask you, and you have a separate sheet where you have the person's name, their job title, their address, their phone number, their email address, so on and so forth. And by the way, in the toolkit, we have a separate reference sheet template for you to use. Okay, so that kind of takes care of the columns, the formatting of this one. Jump on over to our template and pop everything in there. Let's look at the work experience / education. So I'm still a big believer, unless you are a recent grad or you are applying for academia, your work experience needs to come first. So I would list that at the very top. And then notice what you've done here. Medical transcription editor, worked in scribe editing medical reports. We got to get a lot more specific with that. Like, I could even go to ChatGPT right now. I don't know if I have it open. I don't. But I could go to ChatGPT right now and I could say, hey, write me 3 or 4 bullet points for a medical transcriptionist for a resume. Give me action, verb, task, result, okay? Or action, verb, result, task, whatever. And it's going to pop up some bullet points that I could put on the resume. Now, you have to edit those bullet points because unless you give it all the data, it's not going to know for sure everything, but it's going to give you a gist of what you should do. So I want to see bullet points on here for every position. I would love to see the education drop down to the bottom. Because I wasn't really sure like where this information, because it says education, but it's almost written like a work experience section. So that kind of confused me a little bit. Let me just see, going to the second page. Yeah, same. So this would all be under your work experience. And you know what? You could get away with just a one-page resume. In fact, I would get everything onto one page for this individual. Let me show you what I would do in that case. So for our second resume, I want to see this. At the top, I want to see the job title that you're applying for. Give us 3 key skills. Take your summary that you have, redo that, and put it into a nice little paragraph. You're not going to have career highlights, and you're not going to have a competency block. But pull the experience up. Give us just a couple bullet points. Let's say 3 to 4 bullet points on each position. Then have your education, and then I would love to see a technical skills section on that resume. At the bottom, you do have skills, but I would love to see the technical skills section and end it at that. And just have it on a nice one-page resume, no photo, no hobbies, no references available upon request, okay? This is a simple, clean format that every resume should follow. Now, if you're a graphic designer or you're like in the design field, that's one thing, but for most everyone else, we want to steer clear of those fancy templates I use Canva every single day, by the way, but definitely just not for resume writing. No. Okay. Good. I'm gonna answer a couple questions really quick before we sign off today. Thank you to all the people that have joined us inside of the toolkit. Thanks you guys for being here today. We are trying to stay up to date with AI and ChatGPT, and I want to share with you guys the latest and the greatest of what we're learning and what's working for us and our clients. And so that's why we come online to teach you guys this stuff. If you haven't done so already, click like on this video, subscribe to this channel, okay, so that you're notified when we do other live trainings like this. And if you want to join us in the toolkit, that link is there and available for you guys. So you will, you'll be able to grab the toolkit in there. I know a lot of you are asking about, how do I know if I'm the first 20? Eugene, great question. We will send you guys an email. So what I'll do is we'll normally wait until about Thursday. Maybe we'll even send an email out tomorrow. But you'll get an email to that letting you know that you were the first 20, and then also a link to the private Zoom room, our invite-only link to our next group coaching call. And then, of course, when you're ready, you'll send me your resume for a detailed analysis for those that join today. Awesome. Here is a good question. If your education is over 15 years old, would you remove it? No, you're going to keep the education in there, but you would potentially remove the date. Awesome. I'm going to highlight this question. Ellie says, how effective are career portfolios compared to resume submissions? It totally depends on the job. Some positions don't even require a career portfolio, and some do. So it just depends on what the hiring team wants. Do they want to see a career portfolio? Then you're going to get your portfolio ready and get that submitted. But a resume can be equally as important. But then what could also be equally important on top of that is your LinkedIn profile. Okay. We just did a 3-day, that was awesome. In fact, who was there for the 3-day live LinkedIn mini series? It was actually 4 days of full LinkedIn training. That was freaking awesome. We talked all about LinkedIn. But those replays are not available. Those are for all the individuals that joined us in our Career Academy. Let's see. Okay, Michael asked a really good question. Should I include a URL to a link to my data visualizations on my resume? I don't think so, Michael. I don't want to distract the resume with links and all sorts of things. The only link I want to see on your resume is the link to your LinkedIn URL. But it doesn't mean that when you send an email to a hiring manager or a hiring official that you wouldn't include in there, hey, if you want to see my data visualizations, you can take a look here. Yes, awesome, David. I'm so happy you're here. And Christine, yes, you guys were definitely there for that training. That was great. Roderick, hello. Yeah, I think that answered the question. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to just scroll through the chat and see if there's anything else. Yes, awesome. Catherine says, my CV looks similar to this. Someone did mine for me back in 2019. It's clean and simple looking. Yep, that's all we want. We want it to be clean. We don't want distractions and all that stuff. So, yes, good. Yes, Tim asked a really good question. Hi, Tim. Says, have you guys edited the toolkit since I last went through it? Yes, we are adding stuff to the toolkit all the time. So I don't think you've seen the latest. And we also have different training. So depending on when you join us, like for example, the individuals that join us today, you guys will have access to a whole separate training on ChatGPT and the 120 plus prompts that are all broken up into a whole, into different sections. Yeah. Hi, Tane. So happy you're here. Tane says, odd question. When the interview is set, would you include an interview resume with perhaps one or two older positions which helped you get that job 10 years ago? I think the question is, if you're going on the interview, do you include like a whole separate resume? Like if they already have one version of your resume, are you going to include another one when you go interview? Is that what you're thinking or what you're asking? You said perhaps one or two older positions which helped you get that job 10 years ago. I would say you got to stay as relevant as possible, right? So 10 years ago, I know time goes fast because 10 years ago to me doesn't seem like that long ago. I'm like, oh, I did some really cool things 10 years ago. But like when I think about it in terms of presenting it to an employer, they're really mostly concerned with what I'm doing right now. Okay. So it's hard to say, oh, well, this thing that I did all these years ago, blah, 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 blah. Like you can bring it into like the career highlights section, which I shared a little bit earlier. But everything you do right now should be the most relevant information. Now, let's say you have a 1 year or a 2 year gap, then you have to pull from those positions that were 1 or 2 years ago. But you can also be talking about what you're doing right now to stay current with industry trends. Are you doing a certification program? Have you done extra education? Have you done extra just whatever, like online trainings, like, so now you're talking about what you're doing right now. So the more relevant you can be, the better. Yes, Sky, that was your question. If your education is over 15 years old, would you remove it? No, but you can remove the dates. Well, actually, if it's a high school, remove the high school for sure. But other than that, keep your education in. Yes, good. Yep. So Dirty Mike says, should you still list job titles for ones greater than 10 to 15 years ago? Again, if you look back to the template that I shared with you guys, that job where it was older, it's on the bottom. We're not listing any descriptions. We're just listing title, date, company. Yes, David, Tori is a rock star. Awesome, you guys. Okay, well, thanks you guys for joining us. This was a fantastic live stream. You have access to this replay. This will be up on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. Thanks to all of you guys who have joined us inside the toolkit. If you have any questions about the toolkit, Any questions about the content that we provide here on YouTube, be sure to email us at heather@professораustin.com. And I will see you guys either in the next live training. Keep your eye on your inbox if you're on our email list for that, or for the next video that we publish. We normally do that at least once a week once a week here on the channel. So we'll be in touch, you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. And thanks for joining us.